Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how betrayal feels like death? Like for example, when a partner cheats, it's not just heartbreak. What it is it's grief. It's the death of one person that you thought you knew, the death of the relationship that you believed in. And maybe the hardest part is that it's the death of the future that you were planning. You're grieving a ghost because their body is still around, but the version of them that you trusted, that version is gone. And that's why today we're talking about how to grieve a partner who has cheated. And that's not just a breakup, but that's a loss. And what betrayal is a double loss. You lose them and you lose the imagined future that you had with them. It's like spending years building a house, and just as you're about to move in, someone burns it down. You didn't just lose wood and nails. You lost the home that you dreamed of. And that's why betrayal grief, it cuts so deep. It's not just about love. It's about the story that you thought you were living in. And when someone dies, people show up. They bring casseroles, they send flowers, they say, "I'm sorry for your loss." But when you're betrayed, you get whispers, you get judgments. Why didn't you see it coming? Or even worse, why don't you just get over it? And that right there is why betrayal, it can feel so lonely. You're grieving, but there's no funeral, no community ritual, no permission to mourn. So if you're listening to this and you feel that isolation, I want you to know that your grief, it's real and it deserves space. And the first stage of grieving is called denial. This can't be real, not us, not after everything we've built. And denial is your brain saying that I can't handle the full truth yet. And that's okay. It's a shield until you are ready. Then what happens is anger comes. You're explosive, it's confusing. You're angry at them, you're angry at yourself, you're angry at the universe. But anger is not a weakness. What anger is it's an energy. It's your nervous system fighting to protect you. And then after the anger comes the bargaining. It kind of sneaks in. If I had been prettier, if I worked less, if I gave them one more chance, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. And bargaining is your brain's desperate attempt to feel in control when everything feels out of control. And then after bargaining comes depression, the weight, the emptiness, the mornings where you don't want to get out of bed. And this stage right here, it terrifies people because it feels endless. But it's actually the doorway into deep healing. Because after the depression comes the acceptance. Not forgiving them, not excusing them, just saying that this happened and that it hurt and I will survive it. Acceptance is about reclaiming your power, not letting them off the hook. And betrayal doesn't just break your heart. It breaks your identity. You start asking, who am I if I didn't see this coming? Am I foolish? Am I broken? And that right there, that's identity whiplash. And it leaves you questioning, not just them, but it leaves you questioning yourself as well. And what betrayal is, it's also an ambiguous loss because the person is still alive. They're still texting you. They're still walking the earth. But the version of them that you loved, that version is gone. Your body grieves as if they died, but your brain is stuck in this kind of limbo land area. And limbo land is exhausting. And maybe the hardest part of this all is that betrayal steals your sense of safety. And suddenly, every delayed text feels suspicious. Every late night at work feels threatening. Your nervous system starts scanning for danger everywhere. And that right there is not paranoia. That's trauma that's trying to protect you. So you might be asking yourself, how do I grieve a partner's betrayal? One thing you can do is to claim your grief. You have to claim it. Don't downplay it. Don't say it's just heartbreak. Say this is grief. This is betrayal trauma. Because naming it gives you that permission to heal. Another thing that you can do is rituals of release. Because there's no funeral, you have to create your own type of funeral. So write that goodbye letter and then burn it. Pack their things and physically move them. Create a ritual that signals to your body that this chapter of your life has ended. And then the third thing that you could do is to rebuild safety. Find safe people. Tell your story to those who believe you. Every time someone validates you, your nervous system takes one step back towards safety. The fourth thing that you can do is reclaim your identity. Rebuild yourself in micro moments. Ask yourself, what do I love? What feels like me? Who am I outside of the betrayal? Identity doesn't return in one guard moment. It returns in small daily acts. Another thing that you can do is give time permission. Healing won't happen in weeks. It happens in seasons, and that's okay. Time isn't the enemy. It's the companion that gives you distance and perspective. So when love feels like loss, you are allowed to grieve. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to rage. You are allowed to collapse. You are allowed to mourn. Not just the person, but the future. You are allowed to mourn the safety, the version of yourself that you lost in the process. But here's the hope. Grief is not the end of your story. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means reclaiming. So if you're listening right now, take a deep breath with me. You are still here. You are worthy of loyalty. And if this resonated with you, share it with someone who's grieving betrayal, because none of us should have to grieve alone.